If you guys are around me, they raise capital, and I'll tell you guys that they're like, okay, we're ready to go. Yeah. Our pitch deck is ready to go. We're doing raise. Not yet. And they're like, okay, Jerome, we're ready. We're gonna make the site live. We can start raising capital. No. Don't do that. I don't want people's money, because when I take your money, guess what happens? I have a liability. So when I go out and I take your money, I have a liability, because you know what my intent is? Make you money on your money. If I take your money and I'm not ready and I create a liability for me, guess what I'm creating for you? A liability. So when we come in and we raise money, one of the things that we've done is I reduce my liability. I won't take anybody's money until I'm ready to move forward. And that eases my stress. Okay, these guys have raised funds. I don't want to do it. It's just not my deal, because I'm going to do it one deal at a time, and I'm going to make sure that I only have your money for a compressed amount of time, and that you get your money back, and that I don't have the stress of having your money on my shoulders. Does that make sense? Yeah. So one of the biggest things is I've just learned how to reduce my liability and make sure that I protect myself. Because at the end of the day, it's my ass on the line. And I've worked too hard for too many years to compromise that for you, and for anybody else in here. So I will make sure that I protect my well-being and my 30 years of good reputation, because you won't find anything bad on me on the internet. I have a friend. His name is Bob. And I met Bob when he was in his 60s. And Bob is now in his 70s. And we were going, 6 years ago, Bob called me up one day. Bob had been very successful, owns like 2 million square feet of office warehouse. Okay? I mean, not office warehouse. He owns office buildings, retail centers and stuff. Same type of stuff I was building in Boston. Okay? And Bob is very successful. He travels wherever he wants to go. But he's now 72 years old. At the age of 68, I got a phone call from Bob one day, and Bob goes, Jerome, I have an office building I need you to buy. And I'm calling you because I know you have the liquidity to buy it, but I need to sell it. I need to close on it by Monday. It was Thursday afternoon. And I said, bro, I'm not going to close on a piece of real estate on Monday. He goes, you don't have a choice, you have to. And I'm going to give you a deal you can't refuse. He told me like that. Now, mind you, this was back in like 2016. And I was already out of retail. I didn't want no more retail. I went through the 2008 recession with retail. And when Bob called me, he goes, Jerome, I have a brain tumor in the back of my head, as big as a tennis ball. He goes, I have surgery on Tuesday. If I die in surgery on Tuesday, Kathy, his wife, has to run all his stuff. Bob was 68 years old. He's worked his entire career, been very successful. He was managing all of his own assets, dealing with tenants, hustling like the day he started. And I felt this already. I said, man, I went home that night and I said, I don't want to be Bob. I don't want to be like Bob. Shit, I don't want to be 70 years old, freaking hustling around, having to pick up rents and deal with all this bullshit. I don't want to be in a compromised position where I work this hard and I have my wife scared to death that she has to handle all the shit that I worked for. How many of you guys want that guilt on your shoulders? No. You know why I invested in multifamily better than single family? Because the rest of your life, if you have single family, you're going to be dealing with bullshit. That day, I made a decision I would never do anything unless it was 100 units or more. The first apartment complex that I bought in 2016, I paid $7.8 million for it. I just did a cash out refi a year and a half ago for $15.1 million. Same asset. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you guys, I don't manage anything but paper. I haven't been on that property in a year and a half, and it's in Tolleson, Arizona. It just happens to be on the south end of town, more west than I typically go, and it's a 45-minute drive from anywhere else that I have stuff. So I never go to that property. Right down the road, I have an 85-unit apartment complex, and I bought that one in 2016. It's with a property management company. I do nothing but manage people. Yeah. I put parameters on them. When things aren't right, I audit them, and I may show up to the property. Because a lot of times I don't. I just make stuff up. Like, I've been to the property. You're not doing this. The lawn's looking horrible. This, that, and the other. You know how I know what they're not doing? Because I've been in real estate my whole life. I know exactly what's going on when property isn't getting done, isn't getting leased right. So the reason I don't do single family is because I want to manage paper. And if I die, I want my wife to have a sense of ease that she has to do nothing to audit paper. You know, the only thing I have to do for my wife is teach her how to audit people. Yeah. Ty Lopez and I went to North Carolina. We're in Durham, North Carolina. And I'm with his brother Chris and his brother Ben. And I'm driving around Durham looking at an 85-unit portfolio of single-family residential homes. The structures, they looked good. You couldn't have given me that portfolio for free and had me deal with it. I walked into rooms, and I shit you not, where there were babies in crack houses, mattresses that were dirty, filthy, Pampers, alcohol, a mom that's probably in her 60s or 70s in a wheelchair, can't even walk, drunk out of her mind, and the son who's a crackhead sitting in there, and a baby crawling around hypodermic needles. A baby, 2-year-old, in Pampers, dirty, didn't look like she had been bathed in freaking weeks. Now do that, multiply that times like 10. We walked into houses with no indoor plumbing. The landlords were slumlords. They wouldn't even get fixed the plumbing. The pipes were piped outside of PVC pipes. The more you get a single family, they're too far apart. You can't manage them correctly. So you could try to sell them to me all day long. I've done it. I've been there. I've ran it. I won't do it. You guys are welcome to. I'm just telling you what I do based on ease and convenience, guys. There's money in all of that stuff. You can make a good living doing it. I just don't want to be a Bob. Does that make sense? If you want to be a Bob, there's nothing wrong. Bob's have a damn good life. Yeah, he has things set up, and he's using propaganda already. I just chose that I didn't want to be a Bob. I want to be a Jerome Maldonado. If you want to be a Jerome Maldonado, then I'll just teach you my way. My way's not right for everybody, but it's right for me. I like my way. And that's why I don't do single family. That's why I do multifamily. It's the only reason. There's still money in it. I just want the ease of convenience, and I think about my wife more than anything. That's more important to me than any of the money. Even if I had to take a shavings and pay cut, if I die, I just know my wife's taken care of without having to stress her out. Her land up dying of a heart attack because of the shit that I built. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's why. So I'm not saying that single family is wrong. I'm not saying that Section 8 is wrong. I'm telling you there's money in it. And if you have a business model and you love it, I won't discourage you from doing it. It's just not my thing. But just because it's not my thing doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make mine right and yours wrong. For me, my business model makes sense for me. And I'm just explaining to you why, based on what I've seen, what I've experienced over my career, why I don't do it. Doesn't make it right or wrong. It just is, but there's money in it for sure. I just don't want to be like Bob. That was the day that I decided not to ever do that.